Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Hey guys, 4-time U.S. Soccer Athlete of the Year, Landon Donovan here.
And I'm former U.S. and Premier League star goalkeeper Tim Howard.
And we're here to let you know about our brand new podcast, Unfiltered Soccer.
We'll be providing you with all of our insights into everything happening with the U.S. men's national team as they build towards World Cup 2026 here in North America.
And we'll give you all our thoughts on the latest news from MLS, the English Premier League, international tournaments, La Liga, everything going on in the soccer world and beyond.
And all throughout, Landon and I will be dropping in some of our most memorable stories from both on and off the pitch.
That's right. We'll take you inside the locker rooms, give you all the behind-the-scenes soccer info that you crave. It's our life in soccer, and it's unfiltered.
Subscribe to Unfiltered Soccer on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Make sure you follow us on all your social media platforms at Unfiltered Soccer.
New episodes drop every Tuesday.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Arguably the second greatest English manager of my lifetime, Browne Atkinson. How's things?
They're good, Paul. They're good, yes.
We're going to look at your finest Aston Villa 11 run of your lifetime and briefly have a look at your career at Aston Villa. That was 3 seasons between 91 and 94. You finished 2nd, 7th and 10th, won the League Cup. But the biggest problem, I'm guessing, for me with you was the chairman at Aston Villa, who you didn't seem to get on with very well. Deadly. We all thought it was because of football, but it was Jimmy Greaves because of fishing. How he got his name, wasn't it?
That's correct, yeah. Now, let's put one or two things straight.
Yes.
Doug was, you had to be a strong manager with Doug Ellis.
Yep.
And Doug Ellis will admit one of the biggest mistakes, as he's admitted it to me later on, he made, was when he took the decision, which took everybody, including myself, by complete surprise, and got rid of me.
Yep.
Because Aston Villa would have stayed a power over the next few years, whatever. But what I will say about him, mate, he turned Villa Park and all that into a lovely stadium, mainly through him. If he got the money, he would support you if you could make a case for it. The biggest problem he got was, he thought he was a genius on the game where he wasn't.
Yeah.
And sometimes he had a very selective memory.
Yes.
But there we go. But for all that, I mean, Aston Villa was probably the club. Well, it was the club. The very first football match I ever saw, that would be, I'm reckoning, 1947, 48, something like that. It was Aston Villa, or it was Birmingham, actually, against Villa. And the thing that stood out for me in those games were the two players I remember mainly were the goalkeepers, Gil Merrick and Alan Wakeman was in goal for the Villa. Yeah.
And your dad, Fred, was a massive football fan, supporter of you.
Yeah, well, whilst Villa was our team, certainly my team, that didn't stop us. We'd play schoolboy football in the morning, and then whichever one was at home, in the afternoon, we would go and watch.
Yeah.
Occasionally go to West Brom, although West Brom was a little bit further away, we say. So one week we go. In fact, one of our little trips out, it's funny how life changes. We go to Villa Park on a Saturday. When the game was over, straight down the big bank afterwards, over the bank and down, and we got a Perry Bar to the Speedway to watch the Brummies in the Speedway. Yeah. And, it's amazing because they used to get 30,000 crowds at the Speedway as well. So that was my association. That's how I first got to know the Villa. And then later on joined them as a young player. I started off at Wolves, but I got tapped up to go to the Villa, went to the Villa. And I made what was probably the biggest mistake of my career. My dad said, all right, if you're going to do that, I want you to, because the game was different as well, of course. So I took an engineering apprenticeship, but the club found me actually at BSA2, and I had to spend a year playing Works League football, which I did, because the Birmingham Works League then was the biggest league in the world. I think there's 24 divisions.
Yeah,
and I would be 16 then, because I was the youngest player ever to represent. And I think I still am, actually. Youngest player ever to represent the Works League team that played in the representative games. And then I went to Villa. But as I say, as a part-time professional, I slipped up, really. With hindsight, and everything's hindsight, and the game's changed, I wish I'd have gone full-time, because I was pretty certain I'd have broken through quickly there. But there you go. I've no regrets. I enjoyed a move from there. Moved to Oxford. Enjoyed my career there, and then went to management.
And in management, one of those jobs, as we've alluded to, was Aston Villa. And arguably your finest moment at Villa must have come in that League Cup final against Manchester United when you won 3-1. And what a sublime pass that was from Dino to Dalian to score the first goal, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it came as a result of a free kick we'd worked on.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the year before, we'd played very well when we finished runners-up to the to Man U in the first ever Premiership.
Yeah.
In that match, we just run out. After the semi-final against Tranmere was actually one of the most epic games I can ever remember.
Yeah.
It was a game that had everything, the second leg. We'd gone to Prenton Park for the first match. We were 3 down. Two goals, I'm telling you, were offside. But there you go.
Yeah.
And we couldn't believe we were 3 down because they weren't. And then right at the death, right with the last kick of the match, Daly and Atkinson scored.
Yeah.
And you would have thought after the game that they had lost and we'd won.
Yep.
And if you'd have said to John King, the Tranmere manager, before the game, you're going to beat Villa 3-1, he'd have been over the moon. But because they had conceded that late goal, they were really down in the dumps. And there was the second match back at Villa Park. Well, I've been involved in some epic games, but that had everything. We're 2-0 down from the first leg, or 2 goals behind. After 25 minutes, we've done that. I think it was Dino and Taylor had put us back in the game. And we're crude, it looks as if it's going to be us. And they get a penalty and score from that. John Aldridge, maybe Bosnich should have been sent off when he took Aldridge out. But the referee was Keith Cooper, very lenient, did well for us. And then with the game running out, Daly and Atkinson did what he did in so many big games. He got us a big goal.
Yeah.
And took us into extra time. The extra time had everything. They hit Liam O'Brien, who I'd signed as a kid from Man U, hit the post. The ball travelled behind Bosnich and hit the other post and stayed out. Then the game went to penalties, of which we ultimately won. But a game that had absolutely everything in it. Every emotion, good quality, great crowd atmosphere. Yeah.
What was
that set us up for the final.
What was your greatest atmosphere while managing an Aston Villa team, Ron?
That would be very close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was probably it. Yeah. I think if you pin me down, I would say that would have been it. Yeah.
Now,
Villa are associated over the years with cups and so forth.
Yes.
And Wembley. So the fans really, Sunday afternoon, it was televised as well. Fans ripped into the game. Yeah, that would have been the atmosphere, I think.
We're going to discuss now your all-time Aston Villa 11 from players that you've looked at when you was a kid and players that possibly you've managed while you was there and players subsequently that have played for Aston Villa while you've been managing other teams and now looking at as a pundit and as a fan. So let's start off in goal. Who would be your choice for your goalkeeper in your all-time 11 run?
The best goalkeeper I've ever worked with in my life, and I'm talking about the Aston Villa, Mark Bosnich.
Yeah.
Mark Bosnich at Aston Villa was an absolute revelation. He was unbeatable. And we had good goalies. I mean, Pinky was a good goalie. We had Alan Oakes there as a young goalie, a younger goalie. But Bosnich came. I mean, people forget, Bozzy had played for Man U when he was about 16,
Yeah.
and couldn't get the work permit when he was there on a student grant. And when that finished, when he was 18, they couldn't get him. Fergie actually wanted him to go and play in either Denmark, to replace Schmeichel, or go up to Turkey and get international caps, so he'd come back qualified.
Mm-hmm. But Fergie didn't want to get him married, did he? And you didn't brought him back.
Well, that was it. They were talking about ways of getting him involved. And then I said, well, has he got a girlfriend? They said, yeah, so time to marry her. There you go.
So Bozzy is your all-time Aston Villa goalkeeper. And I have to say, Ron, mine as well. I thought Bozzy had everything. He also had 2 stone excess when he come from Australia.
Oh, when he came, I couldn't believe when he came. 2 things happened when we signed him. One was Brian Whitehouse was on my scouting staff then. He'd been a reserve coach at Man U and had worked with him. And he said, if you can get him, get him.
Yeah.
Andy Gray was a big, knew Jim Leighton very well, checked out with Jim Leighton. And Jim Leighton said he's the best young goalie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But when he came, I think he'd been living on a beach for months. And I looked at him, I thought, is this the one they're on about? But he worked tremendously hard. And then the irony of it all is, of course, he got his big break at St Andrews when Spinky got sent off in the League Cup. Bozzy goes on straight away, and his first contribution was to save a penalty from John Frame.
Poor penalty, though.
Yeah, and then, that set us on our way. And I can remember in that cup run, I was going to Sunderland, winning 4-1, which on the face of it looks a great result, but we got battered.
Yeah.
And Bozzy kept us in the game. We scored 4 breakaway great goals.
Yeah.
But Bozzy was easily the man of the match that day.
Yeah.
So no compunctions about naming him the best goalkeeper I've seen at Villa Park. And that started with people, Nigel Sims was a great keeper and people like that. But certainly, and Spinky, Jimmy Rimmer and all, and they're all very good goalies, great goalies, smashing. But Bozzy was, and I'm specifically saying the Bozzy, the Aston Villa Bosnich.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Your back 4, Ron. Who are you going to have at right back?
Right back, it was a player that I managed later on, by the way.
Right.
But at Villa Park, he was a bit of a folk hero, John Gidman.
Yeah.
Flying machine, cross great balls. A very, in today's modern game where the fullbacks has to run on, he would be very much to the fore. So Bozzy was in that Giddy was in that category. And there's another reason, which I'll talk about later, why he would get the nod. Defensively, Earl Barrett would probably be the best. Kenny Swain, who I managed at West Brom, very good all-round player, Kenny. But because of certain attributes that Giddy had got, he just about edges it. Earl Barrett would consider himself unlucky. Ryan Giggs always said he was the best fullback he ever played, hardest opponent he ever played against. Kenny Swain, as I say, he got so many good qualities. But Giddy edges it because of his attacking ability.
Was Giddy unlucky that he didn't receive bags of caps for England?
I think what happened as well, I'd hold a similar thing at West Brom too with Derek Statham.
Absolutely.
I think there was a thought at the time, how good are they defensively?
Yes.
You know, I know for a fact Ron Green would always level that against Derek Statham, who I thought was the best left back in the world at the time, but there you go.
Yeah.
So that's possibly why get more caps, yeah.
At full-back, on the other side, left-back Ron, who are you going to give the number 3 shirt to?
Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve. He had everything. Quality, great quality on the ball, good know-how, terrific professional. And, you know, an all-round very good player. 100 caps in a good Irish team, whatever, and great professional. Left foot like a hammer. I mean, he scored a goal at Old Trafford one day. Schmeichel's still looking for it as it's come past him. Yeah, no complaints about Stan Staunton. Great left back. 2 centre-halves. 1 centre-half automatically fits himself. McGrath.
Yep.
Enough said, McGrath.
Yeah.
I signed him as a boy for Man U.
Yeah.
From St Patrick's in Ireland. And he wasn't a guaranteed player. He was quite a late developer in a way, McGrath. But I don't think I've ever seen a better centre-half in the Premiership than Paul McGrath.
What was his greatest attribute, Ron?
Oh,
reading.
Pardon?
Reading of the game.
I read the game well.
Yeah.
Good, strong in the air, very powerful boy. You know, people don't realise how strong he was, and the other thing people don't realise how quick he was.
Yeah,
he was rapid. I mean, people think because they hear the stories, didn't train, didn't do this, didn't do that. But I'll tell you what, he couldn't half run. And the irony of it all was, and I was watching him on television the other night, Ian Rush, who I probably think we'd share as the best British centre for whatever the play, for the last whatever.
Yeah.
But Ian Rush never scored against us, you know, when I was at Man U. And we always put that down to McGrath.
Yeah.
And after the game, and Rushy was saying this on telly the other night, after the game, he'd go up, Paul would come up to him and say, "Thank you very much, Mr. Rush." He said he used to drive me up the wall. He said I'd told him everything. He was saying that quiet little thin manner. Thank you very much, Mr. Rush. Paul McGrath, you know, he would be. I think if you talk to a lot of Villa fans over the last...
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify is there to help you grow. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/work. Shopify.com/work.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Few years, I think he would get the nod as the best ever player.
I think if I spoke to most Villa fans that watch Paul McGrath play, they would call him God. So totally agree with that, Ron. Yeah, he's absolutely loved and adored still at Villa Park. And rightly so, world-class player.
This is where we come into a little bit of, here's a change. Here's one from a left wing. To partner him, about Gareth Southgate, who was a top player. Lauren was a good player.
Yeah.
Lauren, the kid who had to finish with injury, good player. Teely and Hugo, good players. Alan Evans, very good player. But the one I'm going to slot alongside him was a guy who played in the 50s and start of the 60s, Jimmy Dugdale.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dugdale played in the cup final team. Jimmy was an out-and-out, he's a Liverpudlian lad. He played for West Brom, an out-and-out scrapper. And I don't think many forwards would have relished playing against him and McGrath.
Yeah.
He was a competitor. He wasn't as probably, one or two I've mentioned there were probably slightly better on the ball. But Jimmy Dugdale as a defender, he'd defend the goal with his life. Great in the air, tenacious, very tenacious in the tackle. So he'd get the partnership alongside McGrath. That would be, and I look at that as a back four and a goalie. Terrific.
And he had a testimonial, didn't he, at Villa Park many years after? Because didn't he lose a leg? If I remember, we played Villa, and your mate Jim Smith, he wore a black glove that day. We had a shootout, and Smithy come on. I think he netted the winner, if my memory serves me right.
I don't remember the game. I tell you what I do remember about Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dale. We had a training session at Bodymoor Heath, and Johnny Nichols, who'd been a legend at the Albion, he came down. He brought him over. I said, bring him down. And he sat and watched this. They go, yeah, you're right, he did lose a leg. They put a chair out by the training ground, and he was funny. Because he was one of those with a great sense of humour as well, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was good. Good, yeah. And, you know, that is one good back four, and there's been some good players left out of it.
Absolutely. Are you going to go 3 in midfield, 4 in midfield? How are you going to line your 6?
I'm going to go 4 in midfield.
Okay.
Well, sort of a semi-4. I'm going to go on the right-hand side.
Yep.
A player that I think Manchester United should have signed, James Milner.
Yep.
James Milner, I thought, was a terrific player. I thought he was very, very good at Leeds and Newcastle, and I was so impressed with him at the Villa. And, you know, I mean, when he went to Man City and even now at Liverpool, you see what a top player he is. But he had everything. You know, he could work up and down the field. He got good quality, great attitude, and he would do that sort of semi-right wing, filling back in midfield when they needed to dig it out. So I'd have him in there. My central midfield player would be Gordon Cowan.
Yeah.
Now, I signed Sid about 3 times. I kept selling him and signing him back. We'd sell him for money and get him back on a free. It was funny. And to be fair to the lad, his best times weren't with me.
Yeah.
You know, his better times were before that, the European Cup, when they won the league and things like that, before he went to Italy. But I've seen enough of Sid Cowans to know that he would have to be in there. He'd be the playmaker in midfield, if you like. Alongside him, I'd go with, what's his name, Gareth Barry.
Yeah.
Gareth Barry I'll put in there. You know, they complement the left-sided as well. He'd be excellent in there. I thought particularly once they moved him into the more central areas in midfield, that's when he began to show his best. For a long time, you know, I don't know that it might have been Martin O'Neill as manager. I thought him and Lee Henry should have played in each other's position.
Yeah.
I thought Lee Henry should have been the 4th man on the left-hand side, and Gareth won in, because Gareth didn't have great pace.
Yep.
In a wide area, that's a disadvantage. But in the central areas, you know, he can steal yards on people, and good attitude, great left foot, scored goals, worked very hard. Yeah, top of the range. 2 players that might have pushed him a little bit from the cup-winning side of years ago. Johnny Dixon.
Yeah.
I was sick of playing Johnny Dixon. But I think Gareth Barry, being left-sided as well, just about nicks it. And the other one who might have got in there was Andy Townsend.
Yeah.
Andy might have got a shout in there. But I'd be more than happy with that as me three basic midfield players, Milner, Cowans, and Gareth Barry, and because I'm gonna play it like a winger that could tuck in on the other side, on the left-hand side, and that would be. And I've thought about Mark Walters, Tony Daly. I've thought about Tony Morley. Tony Morley was very close.
Great player.
But I would go for Aston Villa legend Peter McFarlane.
Yeah.
Peter McFarlane, who was, and I'll explain the reasons for that in a minute, but Peter McFarlane would get my left-hand spot, would work hard and fill in gaps when needed defensively, and obviously scored vital goals. Big, strong, powerful fella. Better ability than people don't realise quite what a good player he was as well. But he was a powerhouse on the left-hand side. So I'd pick him because the two strikers I'm going to have, number 9, my centre-forward is going to be Andy Gray.
Yeah.
Andy Gray, you've had Lockhead, you've had Collymore, you've had Peter With was a bit unlucky. You've had people like that. But Andy Gray, I think, is the best centre-forward I've seen at Villa Park. I say since Pongo Waring, although I only know Pongo Waring from what my dad said. Yeah. Another one, pre-60 was the top of the range centre-forward that could have got in, Trevor Ford.
Yep.
Trevor Ford, before he went to the Bank of England, Sunderland team, Trevor Ford was a terrific centre-forward. But I think Andy overall was the best. I think Andy was the top centre-forward. Top, fighter, scrapper, competitive, never gave defenders a minute's peace. And prior to him getting a series of injuries, in his Villa days, he was a handful. Magnificent player.
And your right-hand man when you took over at Villa as well, wasn't he? Your assistant?
Oh, yeah.
In midfield, Ron, just briefly to interrupt here. In midfield, in modern days, how far away from that midfield 4 would be Jack Grealish? I think the kid is absolute dynamite. My favourite player at the moment.
Yeah, Jack Grealish would get a mention, but Jack Grealish, I did want to give him a consideration. But the ones I'm talking about, I've done it over a distance, I've done it for England, I've done it, and it may well be that in years to come, Jack Grealish is ahead of them all.
Yeah.
At the moment, they've got the pedigree to back up what they've done.
How far do you think Jack can go realistically? Because I think he can go all the way. I think he's got the potential of being world class.
Yeah, I think. The strong talk is he'll go to Man United in the summer, and I could see that being a bonus for him because he'll have, with all due respect, he'll have better players alongside him, and he'll have more freedom to. And the fans at Old Trafford will appreciate his style. So, I think the best is yet to come because he still hasn't got an international cap, don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And I'll tell you else would have been very similar to that and should have had a better career. He would have done if I'd have stayed manager, would be Lee Hendrick.
Yeah, good player.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, how to get 30, how to get 20, 20, 20, how to get 20, 20, how to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
Hey guys, 4-time U.S. Soccer Athlete of the Year, Landon Donovan here.
And I'm former U.S. and Premier League star goalkeeper Tim Howard.
And we're here to let you know about our brand new podcast, Unfiltered Soccer.
We'll be providing you with all of our insights into everything happening with the U.S. men's national team as they build towards World Cup 2026 here in North America.
And we'll give you all our thoughts on the latest news from MLS, the English Premier League, international tournaments, La Liga, everything going on in the soccer world and beyond.
And all throughout, Landon and I will be dropping in some of our most memorable stories from both on and off the pitch.
That's right. We'll take you inside the locker rooms, give you all the behind-the-scenes soccer info that you crave. It's our life in soccer, and it's unfiltered.
Subscribe to Unfiltered Soccer on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Make sure you follow us on all your social media platforms at Unfiltered Soccer.
New episodes drop every Tuesday.
Lee Henry was there, but Lee Henry spent too much time playing inside central midfield, where he should have been playing out on the left-hand side of 4.
Yeah.
But there we go. I mean, I had good midfield players like Kevin Richardson, Gary Parker, those sort of lads.
Yeah.
But the ones I picked, it would just about be the next group, the next level to them.
Yeah.
Now then, here's me, what they call it, my surprise packet centre partner.
Go on him.
For Andy Gray. Who do you think I'll pick to partner Andy Gray?
Well, I know who I would have picked to partner Andy Gray. And when I was growing up, there was 2 kings of Birmingham. Trevor Francis, my hero, was one, and Brian Little was the other. And I would have picked Brian because I thought that Brian, arguably, is, for me, one of the greatest players that Villa have ever had. But I'm guessing you didn't.
The one I'm going to pick, possibly the best forward Villa have had since the war. Jerry Hitchens.
Yeah, okay.
Jerry Hitchens played for England in World Cups, had a great career when he went to Italy. Fiery, quick, energetic, a handful. And I don't think too many defenders would have fancied playing against Andy Gray, Jerry Hitchens, backed up by Peter McFarland.
Yeah.
I don't think defenders would have fancied playing against them at all, because they would not have given any defender a minute's peace.
Now, Jerry was one of the first English players or players from over here to go and play in Italy, wasn't he?
Yeah, you started off with Romani and John Charles, Tony Markey, and then he went just after that, Jerry Hitchens, and had a good career in it.
Yeah.
Went to Inter, didn't he, to start with, and then Sampdoria, I think it was, Atlanta, yeah.
Because again, in them days, it was a very different Italian Serie A. It was built basically on the art of defence, wasn't it? And forwards, I mean, Rushy, when he went over there many years after, struggled a little bit because of the ways that the Italians sent up. But likes of Jerry Hitchens and John Charles was like duck to water and really took to their game. So, I mean, they must have been one hell of a... Well, 2 great players that we've had, and certainly for you in your Villa 11.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Hitchens was... I actually had the privilege of playing with him once in a Central League game.
Right.
When he was, and he was his commitment was absolutely total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a substitute run, and you can also have a manager. So who would that substitute be?
Tony Morley would get on the bench.
Yeah.
As a recognised winger. If you wanted a second striker, a backup striker, Willie probably.
Yeah. How far would Gary Shaw be off your all-time 11? Because again, Shaw, a great player, and sadly dogged by injury, wasn't he, really, after they won the European Cup?
He was only about 23, 24 when he went into backup Shawsey. So he was a very, very good player, Shawsey, but, once again...
Yeah.
You never had a chance to see just how good he might have been.
Mm-hmm.
Who else might have been a sub?
Eric Houghton must have got very close to the starting 11, or certainly the substitutes bench as well. Another Villa legend from back in the day.
He played before the war, and now I do go back a bit.
Right, okay.
I go back that far. In fact, he was the manager that signed me for the Villa.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't go back far enough to that in play. I can just about remember there was a guy who was a good player, and a lot of the called Frank Browne.
Yeah.
Who played, but and I'd say else was at the Villa, but his better days ago. He did right at the Villa. Jackie Sewell.
Yes.
He was one of the most expensive player in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we are.
And your manager, sir, who would you have as Aston Villa? Who's your greatest Aston Villa manager of your lifetime, Ron?
Well, it'd be Ron Saunders.
Yeah.
Ron Saunders, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I played for him at Oxford. He was my manager at Oxford when I played. But, Dewar, it was one of them you think twice about going on holiday with. But, But in terms of his management career, yeah, he was different. He was very good. Yeah.
And I'm guessing on that subs bench or physio or sponge person, it wouldn't be Sean Teal's Mrs. Carroll, would it?
No. You'd have Jim Walker. Walker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now it's all science coaches and sports coaches and science. I don't quite know how they get on with them. I remember going to the Villa and Jim Walker was the physio, and he'd come up under Cloughy as a player. And after a couple of days, he came to see me because the rest of the staff, before I got there, had been moved on. And he said, well, what do you look for from me? I said, well, I've got to be honest, Jim. My idea of a perfect physio, he wears a brown cow gown, he leans against the physio door with a fag on, and don't let anybody in. A lot of physios think unless they've got a medical room full of players, they're not doing the job.
Yeah.
I used to say, tell them they're all right. Unless somebody comes in with it broken or bleeding, tell them they're all right. Don't have a glass of. Yeah, there you go. But that's what is it? Dinosaurs. That's what dinosaurs are.
No, that's what common sense football people are all about, because the game, in my opinion, has changed, and not for the better, and those glorious days we always remember fondly, like we have with your memories of Aston Villa and your 11. So, Ron, can I thank you for your time, sir?
Oh my God, it's the coolest thing ever. Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? Well, check this out. It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. Seriously. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be.
Hey guys, 4-time U.S. Soccer Athlete of the Year, Landon Donovan here.
And I'm former U.S. and Premier League star goalkeeper Tim Howard.
And we're here to let you know about our brand new podcast, Unfiltered Soccer.
We'll be providing you with all of our insights into everything happening with the U.S. men's national team as they build towards World Cup 2026 here in North America.
And we'll give you all our thoughts on the latest news from MLS, the English Premier League, international tournaments, La Liga, everything going on in the soccer world and beyond.
And all throughout, Landon and I will be dropping in some of our most memorable stories from both on and off the pitch.
That's right. We'll take you inside the locker rooms, give you all the behind-the-scenes soccer info that you crave. It's our life in soccer, and it's unfiltered.
Subscribe to Unfiltered Soccer on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Make sure you follow us on all your social media platforms at Unfiltered Soccer.
New episodes drop every Tuesday.
And this week's episode is sponsored by The Gig in Acox Green, Birmingham. Our fantastic venue, bar and recording studio. Find them on all social media platforms. Just search for The Gig, Acox Green, Birmingham.